Hey everybody, just wanted to put out a quick channel update, just to sort of put a few of my thoughts out there and bring you up to speed as to what's been going on the channel and what's immediately ahead of us at the moment. This is going to be an unscripted sort of ramble into my microphone piece, so if you want to basically skip to the point, I won't be offended. Just head on straight over to the chapter of this video marked TLDW, or just go to the timestamp down below if you want to skip all of that. But for everybody else who doesn't mind hearing me prattle on for a little bit, I'm just going to stick some of the footage from my recent videos in the background, so feel free to sort of carry on doing what you're doing and just listen into my inane ramblings as I kind of unpick what's going on at the minute. Word of warning as well, there's going to be some Phantom Liberty and Starfield spoilers up ahead, but I'll warn you before they arrive, just in case you are following along with either of the series. So, if you've been following the channel for a little while, you've probably noticed that the schedule's gone a little bit scatty lately. I've gone from releasing an average of about 4 videos a week to uploading daily when I was playing Starfield and Phantom Liberty alongside each other, to now kind of putting out a couple of videos a week on random days. It's all kind of like gone a little bit in reverse. And you're probably wondering why, because I was as well until the last couple of days when I actually really sat down and thought about it, and a couple of things sort of clicked into place. Playing both Phantom Liberty and Starfield alongside each other was great, because you had the contrast between the two games. They're very different games. They're both sort of very involved and very sort of expansive, but very different themes, very different storylines, very different sort of... They both play very differently. But generally speaking, I had a good pace going with alternating days between the two games and sort of doubling one of them up on the weekends. Now, Phantom Liberty I'm not done with. I will be going back to Phantom Liberty and Cyberpunk because I want to explore the different endings of the expansion and how that feeds into the different endings of the base game. Those endings I still haven't explored. But after seeing V's story through Dogtown and through Hansen's little sort of malicious state, I kind of wanted to take a little bit of a step back, have a bit of a breather, take a couple of days off that I would normally be recording Phantom Liberty videos, so that I can gear myself up for whatever's next and keep going with the Starfield videos in between. But it's kind of slowed to a bit of a crawl now, and I kind of not only have had a little bit of trouble recording Starfield videos in the meantime, but also planning what I'm going to do to really wrap up all of the endings with Cyberpunk 2077 and the expansion. And I think it's because, if I'm being absolutely truthful, I'm kind of done with Starfield. And that doesn't sit completely comfortably with me. I kind of feel like I had resigned myself, or not resigned myself, but set myself up to play the hell out of Starfield and play as much of it as I can and go and explore all of the different factions and the different groups that you can join and go and do all the different fetch quests and meet all of the characters and go to the planets that are inhabited. Like, there's a couple of planets out there that I know have settlements on them that I've not even touched. Like, is it Titan back in the Sol system? I think has a pretty big settlement on it. I forget the name of it now, but I'm pretty sure it's where Hela came from. But I'm weighing up things like that and outpost building and other side quests that we've got waiting for us, and Ryujin and the NC Vanguard and Sarah's side quests, and I hate to say it, I'm just not interested. As weird as that sounds, because I've spent so many hours. I've been playing the game for over 6 months. It's been out for 6.5 months as I record this. And I'm just not invested. It's kind of been a bit of a... I don't know if I'd say it's a grind, but it's almost as though like, I don't know, the big kettle is coming to boil and just never quite reaches it, and you expect that it's gonna sort of like really I don't know what I'm saying. There's a weird analogy, but I kind of keep expecting the game to leap out and grab me by the throat and go, now it's getting good, brace yourself for this, and it just hasn't. I have a bit of an attachment with Barrett and Sam and Andrasia. I don't think it's any secret that I never particularly warmed to Sarah, bless. I really couldn't give a toss either way what happens to her, but I don't know. It's weird, and I hate it because I so wanted to really fall in love with this game. And this is the thing, for the last 6 months I've been on the edge of my seat, fully prepared to be drawn in and suddenly fall in love with what's happening, and I've just been kept waiting. I also think playing it alongside Phantom Liberty has actually been bad for a couple of different reasons. First of all, because I was alternating between Phantom Liberty and Starfield, I think that Phantom Liberty brought so much to Cyberpunk 2077, was such a fantastic experience, that it kind of masked the averageness of Starfield, I think. Playing the two side by side, I think I was constantly pulled along in sort of this cycle of Starfield, Phantom Liberty, Starfield, Phantom Liberty, and it was all Phantom Liberty that was powering that process, that machine. That drew me through, and then it got to the stage where I had pretty much completed that story arc. I think there's still a couple of little things waiting that I haven't discovered yet. But then with the most excellent mod, Pacifica Typhoon Dogtown's Hidden Gems, sending me on the little chase around Dogtown to pick up all the little hidden trinkets and the little encounters that you wouldn't normally see. That then came to an end, and like I say, I stepped away from Phantom Liberty. I fully intend on getting back into it because I want to explore how everything pans out, sort of with the choices that I've made in the base game's end game, and also explore all the other possibilities. But I'd taken a step back from that because V's main arc within that expansion, within the world of Cyberpunk, had come to an end, and then I was just left with Starfield, and things started to go a bit wobbly and fall apart from there. I kind of lost momentum. It's like the wheels started wobbling on my tricycle, and one of them's about to come off if I don't do something. Again, sorry for the weird analogies. I told you this would be rambly. I guess what I'm saying is, I'm not going to immediately drop Starfield, but I do kind of want it to finish now. I'm kind of at that stage where I'm like, enough's enough. Let's wrap this up. I've got other things to be getting on with. So, spoiler alert for Phantom Liberty. This is your opportunity to go and find that chapter marker for the TLDW, and I'll meet you at the end of the video. But yeah, when I got to the ending where I'd helped Songbird, got her up into space, I kind of want to just push through to the end of Phantom Liberty and see if there's any repercussions, any nods, any mentions of that, or perhaps even a different ending to the base game through that. And I also want to go through the other endings. I know that there's at least 3 other endings, I think, to Phantom Liberty. I know that you can obviously betray Songbird by, I think there's a couple of different opportunities going down the same path of ending up at the Orbital Air Space Center. I think you can still choose to ignore Reed. I think you've got an option to call Reed when you're in the train or in the carriage, the tram, and you can obviously hand Songbird over when you're at the loading platform. I imagine they probably all convene to the same ending. So there's that ending, but there's also the opportunity to betray Songbird when you're in the Black Sapphire, when you're there confronted with the mainframe, the Cynosure mainframe. And there's 2 different branching endings off of that, I think. There's possibly even more, I don't know. I want to go and explore those. But I kind of feel that every time I think about doing another Starfield video, it kind of knocks the wind out of me and I feel really sort of demotivated. And I don't want that to happen. I don't want that to happen because I want to like Starfield and I just don't like it as much as I'd like to like it, if that makes sense. And yeah, I also don't want that sort of dragging the rest of things down. Oh, there was a second thing as well that was a disadvantage to running Starfield and Phantom Liberty in tandem next to each other. Not only did I finish the game, or the story arc of the game, that was really keeping me excited to make more videos, and then the momentum sort of bled off since, but also just the stark contrast in quality between the two games next to each other. The more I played Phantom Liberty, the more I could see the flaws in Starfield, the more I experienced the depth of the story in Phantom Liberty and the story arcs and the depth of the characters, the more I sort of saw how wooden and bland a lot of the people and the factions and the locations are in Starfield. And that makes me sad. Again, I really want to love Starfield, and I just don't, no matter how hard I try to make myself love it. It's a crying shame for fans of the game, and it's a crying shame for Bethesda in a sort of way, because in the build-up to Starfield's release, one of the things that they made big fanfare of was the fact that it's over 2 decades since they actually spawned their own original IP, not since the original Elder Scrolls have Bethesda actually come up with their own concept of a game, their own background, their own lore, their own world. Because of course, Fallout, which has come out a lot more recently than the original Elder Scrolls, was an IP that was already established. They bought that in from Interplay years and years ago. So they didn't have to think of all of the background lore for that. They thought up the Elder Scrolls from scratch. And obviously we know that it's a bloody brilliant world that's had a huge following. So this Starfield is their blank slate. And so far they've taken that huge blank slate and picked up a piece of chalk and just kind of scratched a couple of doodles and written a couple of lines of flaky story. And it's just a bit thin. It's just all very thin, especially, like I say, compared to Phantom Liberty. Playing them side by side, it's such stark contrast. I think that's knocked the wind out of me a little bit as well. I think one more thing that also has kind of deflated me a little bit, especially in the last couple of weeks whilst playing Starfield, and major late game Starfield spoilers here again. There's the chapters down below if you want to skip to the TLDW bit, get past all the spoilers. You've been warned. Andresia being killed in the game, and then having that brief moment where you meet the emissary and realize, oh, it's Andresia, and then, oh no, it's not. It is Andresia. It's not my Andresia. Okay, she's actually dead. But then through revelations in that meeting with the emissary and the hunter, and also the fact that this game's been out for 6.5 months now, and the internet exists, so I've kind of heard bits and pieces about what New Game Plus is. I've pieced together enough to kind of feel like everything that I'm doing is a bit worthless. Kind of, what's the point when you can just go to a place and do a thing, and I don't know what that place is, and I don't know what that thing is yet, just to be clear, but you can go to a place and you do a thing, and poof, everything goes back to normal. The big factory reset on the universe kind of makes everything feel a bit worthless, which is not what's also knocked the wind out of me for the whole Ryujin stuff. And I was going to go to the UC Vanguard afterwards, and I'm just really not bothered. And don't get me wrong, I've really enjoyed playing through Barrett's side story and Sam's side content, and really liked Andresia's story arc, although I did kind of feel like it was left in a bit of a weird state, because the whole, I think I'll be in trouble now next time I see House Varun, and then we never got to see House Varun, and I looked it up and checked, you never get to see House Varun. It just felt like it was kind of left dangling a bit, which was a bit of a shame. But I really liked Andresia as a character. I was genuinely cut up when she was killed on board the Eye. But looking back at those things, the search for Andresia's smuggler friends and hunting down what happened to Irvin with Barrett and the whole thing with Cora's mum, it just knowing that it all, everything that you do in the game is kind of throwaway to extent. Just, I don't know, it kind of makes it all feel a bit hollow. But fret not, Starfield fans, this isn't the end of the series. I'm not just going to cut it and run. I am intending on seeing the main quest through and bring Asher to some sort of conclusion. But past that, I'm not entirely sure what's going to happen. So, in summary, here's the TLDW bit. If you skipped ahead, hi! You didn't miss much in between. I'm growing weary of Starfield. I'm not going to abandon the series, but I am going to wrap it up. I'm going to abandon the Ryujin questline. I'm going to abandon all of the other side quests, and I'm not particularly bothered about going and checking out any of the sort of the UC Vanguard or anything like that, or Sarah's side quests. I need closure on this game, I think. I need to move on to something else. I want to go and pick up the other endings for Phantom Liberty and Cyberpunk 2077 and then move on to something completely new. So the plan at the moment is for Asher to proceed through the rest of the main quest until it gets to the stage where something happens and we have an option to start a New Game Plus. And I'll pop through into the New Game Plus just to see if there's anything that's revolutionary and mind-blowing that I'm not expecting that might pull me through and pique my interest again and carry me on through a new game. At the moment, I have my doubts. So I think we're probably going to go for another few episodes. Don't want to put a number on it at the moment because I'm not sure how near we are to the end of the main quest, but I think I'm just going to main quest through to the end, take a look at what lies beyond, and then probably call it a day on Starfield. My momentum kind of ran out once I completed the main story arc in Phantom Liberty, and I'm getting the itch to play something new, and Starfield just isn't sustaining my interest at the moment. Plus the folks over on the Discord, bless them, about 10 months ago, I think, I asked them for ideas of other games I could play on the channel, and they came forward and put forward suggestions in their droves, and I've not looked at any of them because I've been playing Phantom Liberty and Starfield. So yeah, I think those suggestions need a little bit of love before too long. But anyway, that's enough of me drivelling on. So Starfield will continue for a little bit, then I'll be doing a little bit of stuff around Phantom Liberty and Cyberpunk 2077's various endings, and then it's time for something new, I think. But anyway, thank you very much for joining me. Thank you very much, especially if you listened to all of that all the way through from start to finish. I'm quite impressed and a little bit touched. Pop on over to the Discord if you want to jump in on the conversation. It would be great to see you over there. And if you'd like to leave a like or you care to leave a comment, pop those down below. Let me know what you think about Starfield. I might have a completely different opinion than you. I might be sort of slating it when you think that it's an absolute masterpiece. I might have given it far too much time and it's lasted a lot longer than you could ever imagine playing it. Who knows? But yeah, the last few Starfield episodes will be up soon, before too long. I assume it's going to be the last. You never know. Might have a change of heart. Might turn into a completely different game when I get to the end, but we'll see. But until next time, take care of yourselves, and I'll see you then. Bye-bye.